During my school years, I was reading mostly fiction, but also books about Krasnoyarsk. However, I find it difficult to say I know everything. Now, I am here in downtown to learn how much locals know about the city indeed.
The Triumphal Arch was built to celebrate the 375th anniversary of Krasnoyarsk in 2003, and its height is approximately 18 meters. Do locals know what it was built in honor of? Did it change their perception of the city?
As far as I know, it's dedicated to the Siberians killed during the Second World War and located in the historic center of Krasnoyarsk. I don't really think it caused any changes. As you may know, there are similar arches in some cities of Russia and other countries, so I don't consider it is an exceptional or peerless piece of art. However, it's well worth seeing for some cultural development.
The museum center called Mira Square, founded in 1987, and is by far the best one in Krasnoyarsk. There are under 400,000 visitors annually. A great number of exhibitions of contemporary and modern art, including amateur paintings, contemporary sculpture, Soviet Cubist works, take place here each half year. What is the museum center famous for?
It's one of the most well-known museums in Krasnoyarsk, including educational centers and libraries. I guess it's dazzling because of its remarkable, evocative, but frankly speaking, sometimes stunning chic exhibitions and pieces of art which anyway utterly improve their creative environment, attracting gifted locals and guests.
Let's retrace our steps to another place. This building is also a historical heritage of the city. Believe it or not, the house was built roughly in 1880 for commercial and residential purposes. Nikolai Godelov became the owner of the house, whose possessions covered the entire center of Krasnoyarsk of that time. Needless to say, it was unusual for Krasnoyarsk, with the wealth of its forms, facades and matte patterns. What locals know about one of the biggest shops in the city?
Surprisingly, it initially belonged to Godelovs. Likewise, the first electric lighting in Krasnoyarsk appeared exactly in this house in 1891. For last several decades, the Godelovs house has been a baby shop and visited by lots of people.
As you may know, there is an organ hall in the city center, built in 1911 in the Gothic style and restored roughly in 1970s after being partly destructed. The hall accommodates 200 people or spectators or so. It's visited by both local residents and guests from other cities. As for musicians, foreign organists often come here on tour. Interestingly, according to some characteristics, the concert hall of Krasnoyarsk can be called the best in Europe. Do Siberians know the history of the building?
Apparently, it was modeled on a typical Catholic church, and the concert of organ music takes place here. Supposedly, it's popular with European musicians as they frequently come here to the only organ hall in Krasnoyarsk, which was approximately destructed in 1920. Believe it or not, I'm fond of organ music. I feel moved each time I listen to it, and I'm totally emotionally drained, you know?
Undoubtedly, previously mentioned places attract locals and lots of guests from all over the world and considered to be out of the ordinary. Not the much talked about, but definitely worth visiting places, immerse you into life of Siberians through getting an exceptional experience and making an incredibly discovery of true values of one of the Siberian cultural centers.